Welcome to Cracking Conflict, a 15-episode series on the Fearlessly Human podcast. I'm Kavita Khanna, a leadership and culture strategist, coming to you from Aotearoa, New Zealand.
And I'm Dr. Vicki Dalton, a clinical and forensic psychologist tuning in from Indianapolis in the US of A. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are now on episode 7, titled The Role of Listening in De-escalation. In our last podcast, we really addressed sort of our internal reaction that comes up with emotions and conflict. But now we want to take sort of more of an outward look. This episode is going to be all about a deep, reflective listening and how it can change the course of conflict and conversation. And Kavita, I'd like to hear from you, kind of your perspective on why is listening such a powerful tool during conflict?
Yeah, when it's done well, and it has to be done well, but when it's done well, really what listening is about is acknowledging what the other person's feeling. It's giving them respect, and it's saying you matter. And my experience has been when it's done well, you suddenly bring the temperature down, and then you can talk to the person and you feel like what you're saying is being received. And the reason why I keep saying that when it's done well is because you can give the appearance of it being done well. You know, those typical conversations, you're going, I hear you. And then in your head, you're either processing what's for lunch, or what am I going to do? When is this guy going to stop? Or just waiting for a pause so that you can ram in your point. That's not listening. That's not the kind of listening we're talking about here. This is really observing, being curious, staying in that space, and giving that the other person the space to actually feel safe, and then they can listen to what you are saying as data rather than as arrows coming at them, if that makes sense.
It does. It really does.
Yeah, and I'm really curious because I've explained this is how I see it. Neurologically, I'm sure there's something happening. So on to you, Vicki.
Yeah. So from the neurology and the psychology, the internal process, when someone feels heard, they feel like they're connected more to that person. When they feel like their emotions, as you said before, are acknowledged, but also their point. I can remember a time in college, I got really frustrated. I have no idea what it was about. And my RD, the guy that ran my dorm, I felt like he had done something wrong, and I went to confront him on it. I don't even remember now what it was. And I got tearful. It totally caught me off guard. But I was like coming at him with my point, probably a little too hot, and I got tearful. And he panicked. He was totally hanging with me with the anger. But when I got emotional, he started backing off. It was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then I got mad and the tears went away because you're not listening. You're not agreeing with me. You're not saying you're sorry because of my points are valid. It's because I started crying. And then it was like this whole emotional kind of roller coaster. And I can remember his response. This day is so clear. I should, give him a shout out. But he was like, okay, try again. I'm really listening. I promise I won't say I'm sorry if you won't cry. Like it was like this whole emotion. I'm like, okay, then I had to rethink my point. But when I heard him say, I promise I am listening, I will try to hear you, it brought me right back down. And I started chuckling a little bit to myself because I was aware I had scared him or whatever. But I hear you. I'm trying to hear you. Shifted in my brain. It was a really good example in real time for me how, okay, what is my point? Or when he able to, what I love to have people do is how do you repeat it back to them? Here's what I heard you say. Did I get that right? Did I get the point? And that actually is even more effective if you start it with an acknowledgement of the emotion. It sounds like you're very passionate about this. It sounds like this has been a very hurtful, process for you. You felt disrespected, that labeling or naming of the emotion first, and then describing their point. All of that is true active listening. You are engaged and you are paying attention. And it helps them move you towards problem solving if you can then follow it up with, so tell me a little bit more, or where do we go from here? What makes sense as the next steps? Now we're collaboratively moving forward. But all of that, you have to get them to start, listening to you. You have to be listening to them.
I mean, it puts to mind some of the constant back and forth we have. This is in our marriage. We've been married. Vikram and I have been married 30 years, and some of the times when we've had conflict, it's been when I am kind of having a little bit of a vent, and then he comes along and tries to solve it for me. And I'm like, just listen. I don't want you to solve it. I just want you to listen and just say, they're there. You're okay.
Or that sucks. That was awful. Yes.
Yeah.
Validate your feelings.
Yeah,
yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just do that. And so we've taken to, I now say, I'm venting. I don't want to.
There you go. Label it. Label it. One of the things I do in my couples counseling, I tell them, unless the woman, this is a little bit gender specific, so I don't mean to be stereotyping, but unless your woman says to you, I need your help me figure out what to do at the start of the conversation, then you just need to listen. She doesn't want you to problem solve until she says, now I don't know what to do. What should I do? What do you think? Because you should have been listening. You better be listening, because now she wants to hear. But until those words come out of her mouth, it's a vent.
And I think it's very valid, isn't it? In a professional setting as well, people want to feel like they have the agency to solve things. So they're not really looking for you to do it for them, because you're taking away the control from them. Mm-hmm. But what they are looking for is a place to feel safe enough that they can say what they want to say, get past it, and then get into problem solving. Isn't that what
that's sort of the neurology of it is? They want to feel heard. They want to be able to identify what they're thinking and feeling. They want to be able to express it preferably appropriately and with respect, and they want to feel respected when they're being heard. And then you can move to problem solving. In order to engage the prefrontal cortex, the front part of our brain, the part that's the biggest compared to any other part of the animal kingdom, is this problem solving piece up here. And the emotions have value, and they need to be heard, and the people need to feel seen. But ultimately, we do need to move forward, right? Mm-hmm. And in order to do that, helping them identify, what the problems are. So the overarching goals are, what's the problem I'm listening for, and how are they feeling, and how can I help this process along?
And just to digress, I mean, this is something, it almost feels like out of a playbook of one of those hostage negotiators as well, isn't it? So it's almost universal. It doesn't matter whether it is personal relationship, work relationship, or high emotion situation, right?
Yeah, right. From a parent talking to a teenager, to a person coming in to talk to HR, their human resource person, about a problem they're experiencing. I encourage people to share directly, if they can, the person that they're upset with. And I also encourage them, when they can, to be thinking about, if they can in advance, any efforts at problem solving. What are possible resolutions or solutions for this? Be open to the idea that there may be nuances that you don't know about, but not just to come in to gripe. What do we want done about it? What do you think is an appropriate outcome? Let's have that dialogue. But the people need to feel.
Yeah, I really love it. So you listen, and listening helps with de-escalation, and listening also helps to shift to problem solving. So if you've ever wanted to hit rewind on a conversation, our next episode is gold for you. We're going to dive deep into why diverse teams feel harder and do better, and how to get more comfortable with discomfort. And that murky thing is coming up in episode 8.